Since the beginning of human history,
people in Europe have been making shoes out of simple leather. Some of these shoes were extremely simple and lasted up until right up through the 20th century. Kramer from Living Anachronism did a video about winter shoes, and he suggests felted wool shoes from the Eastern Steppes or Eastern Europe. And these shoes reminded me of Scottish ghillie brogues. And it just so happened Fandabidozi had done a tutorial on how to make them. He uses rawhide and cuts them out in little circles. I did my best to replicate that, and then I punched holes through. I then cut strips of leather for the laces. And this is much harder than you would think. It's very, very difficult. Then poured water into a bucket and soaked my my ghillie brogues, the bits of leather that I was using anyway. By the way, those little weird green shoes that I'm wearing in this video, yeah, those are the inserts that I use for the actual winter boots. After soaking the shoes, I then treated them to make them waterproof with Snow Seal. Kramer from Living Anachronism again suggests that Snow Seal is the best for waterproofing medieval shoes because they're just made out of beeswax and are accurate to the time. I treated them before stitching them up and making them have shape, and then treated them after putting everything together just to make sure it was extra waterproof. My first few days of trying these shoes out were kind of successful. It was wet, but it wasn't snowy, and it wasn't extremely cold, but they worked really well from those days of practicing with them and trying them out that I had. I tried them out through all kinds of different terrain, up hills, down hills, and puddles. I ran through a field. I actually did run a mile in these shoes. They don't have a whole lot of support. They're kind of just like running barefoot almost. But they work really well, and they do allow cushioning. Enough cushioning at least for walking around in the woods or walking on gravel. But it is different than, say, walking in sneakers or in dress shoes. And then, out of nowhere, it started snowing right after New Year's, and I had enough snow to test it out, and it was cold enough to really test these shoes out. So I got dressed and walked around for about 2 hours, and these shoes work really well. I did some mock battles in these shoes. I ran a bit more in them. I walked around, I walked through puddles, I walked in the woods just to make sure that I really tested these out accurately. And that's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I would like to thank Tom from Fandabidozi and Kramer from Living Anachronism for giving me some ideas and inspiration for these videos. Thank you so much again, everybody, for watching, and until next time, farewell.